welcome everyone out there and watching us on Nerd TV. This is the Austin 200K here for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Cup Series. My name is Jeremy Stanley, as known as J-Stan, and to my right now, a little bit different here, is going to be Pashibyanek, aka Kenny. How's it going, man?
What is up, my fellow nerd? It's good to be back in the booth. I'm excited to get this road course racing going and see what they can do tonight.
Yes, sir. I got to miss, unfortunately, the truck race here this past Wednesday, and I was really looking forward to watching Circuit of Americas, and I get to watch it, the Cup Series at least, so I'm very thankful for that. We got that 37-lap event for the Austin 200K, and I really enjoyed the Cup race this past Sunday. I got to catch that, and these guys in practice are putting a hell of a show on right now, so I'm just overall pretty excited.
Yeah, and you brought up Wednesday with the truck race here at COTA. Unfortunately, we didn't make it. This is the world of technology, and you love it or hate it sometimes, and it just didn't work out for us. So we apologize for not being here on Wednesday, not being able to broadcast it for the league and for you watchers out there. So apologize for that, but we're going to bring it back to you tonight, and it's going to be some good action. And like you said, over the weekend, it was great racing all around. So I'm expecting to see it here. Been watching practice for a little bit, and people have been putting out some laps, slowly getting better, and then some of them I've been watching, just trying to get one lap down has been a little bit of a challenge. So it'll be an interesting night.
Yeah, a couple of those guys. I think I saw McMullen struggling to get a lap down, a couple other people as well. Yeah, on my part too, even though I wasn't available to broadcast, I know we had that issue. We could not bring you that action for the trucks, which on my behalf as well, I do apologize, but we got everything corrected. We do believe so on that end, so we should not have any other hiccups going forward to bring you all the action on Nerd TV for you guys watching the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series for the Cup Series and the Sim Racing Points Truck Series. As you see, we have a new layout, Kenny. We're to the left and right of the screen. All of your information in practice is going to be right in between us, and then during the race, you're going to have a nice tower on your right-hand screen, fully customized. We're going to have a lot of different add-ons. You're going to see different views such as overall track views and battle telemetry and stuff like that. So I'm definitely looking forward just to seeing how that's going to perform with everyone tonight.
Yeah, it's a nice layout that Dustin put together, and it's definitely going to enhance the racing that we got here. And speaking of the racing, I'm kind of looking at the entry list here, and Brody Hanna's not here again this week. That's 2 weeks in a row that he's out. It's going to drop him down. And then who else I'm not seeing here is big player last week, Sherwood Wilford. He's second in points, and he's not on your entry list, and he's got about 2 minutes. So that's going to be a big hit for him as well.
Yeah, and that guy actually, if I'm not mistaken, he did win last week, correct? In Atlanta. So that's kind of a huge deal. He made up a bunch of ground in the points. And yeah, so far we got 2.5 minutes left in this practice session, and Mr. Sherwood is not available at the moment. So 2 big players can be missing the race. I also want to do a quick mention here while we're still on the Martin Sports pre-race show. I know my producer in the background, Mr. Dustin's been working very hard, and so we love to give him a shout out. He's actually got a little camera on him, so if we can get him on the screen. Hey, there he is. How's it going back there? Just give me a thumbs up. I know you don't have any audio.
He said, nah, no thumbs up tonight.
No thumbs up.
Going pretty good. Going pretty good, guys.
Hey, there he is. All right, man. Do us good, man. Try to keep up with us.
Yeah, I'm going to try. You guys keep me busy. These guys on the track keep me busy, too, so it's always a good show. So you guys do good. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Beautiful. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I got a minute and a half left in this practice now, and Kenny Richie Coy turned it up so far 0.2 faster than your current points leader, Mr. Ryan Hedrick.
Yeah, he's kind of trying to keep pace, I would imagine, of what he did last year. Richie ended up getting second here. He's trying to advance that one spot ahead to, take that lead position. And throughout the practice, we had Brian Bliss. He was kind of at that top spot. And then Ryan Hedrick was right behind him. But as his practice is rolling on, you see Lane Allen, Ryan Hedrick, Richie Coy jump up there. And, even Chuck Sweeting round out your top 5. And they're separate each other by 2 seconds. I mean, you have it from 2:14 on Richie Coy all the way down to Steve Loomis at a 2:31. So times are very all in between there. So it's definitely gonna, bring out some racing here. We're gonna have some people pull away and have some battling it out. So it'll be interesting. But I'm waiting to see what they do on the track, because I know there's this track is very challenging, and especially in this Cup car, we see him sliding all over the place right now in practice.
That's one thing I've not done on iRacing is done the next gen car at COTA. I know the Cup guys and or Xfinity and Truck, everyone just especially the Cup Series because they have a new next gen car. So that was their first time dealing with it, and now these guys are potentially on the track for the first time themselves, getting used to everything. And driving around these heavy cars is not an easy task, like you said, around this track. I think there's 20 corners around this place, a little over 3 miles, 3.43 miles. That's actually 16 turns registered. But
I think there's
on
20.
the real life, yeah, I thought it was 20. I thought they gave us a count, but the iRacing says 16 turns. So there's a 4-turn.
They probably don't count
somewhere.
the Grand Plaza there. There's like 3 turns right there in the Grand Plaza, so they probably just said, forget those.
yeah, you probably right for sure. But that's we have the conclusion now for practice. That means they're going to be going to qualifying. So if you guys participate in our streams every week, then that's our drill to get our faces off the screen and start thanking some people that are well-deserved that enable us to do this each and every week for you guys. Starting off with the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series themselves. We're watching them now every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Been around since 2006. iRacing since 2017, so about 5 years now. They've been doing this for you guys, and as you've seen now for 6 weeks, these guys do not disappoint and do not let down. Some of the best out here, most clean drivers I have personally ever witnessed for a week-to-week standpoint in any iRacing league. So please check them out. You can either go to their full website, fullthrottlesimracing.net, or just go to the shortened version, FTSR.net. Whatever you choose, they'll take you to the same exact page. Website's super easy to get through and figure out what you need to do exactly to sign up with these guys. Once again, FTSR.net. Then we have Sim Racing Points. They are your official Truck Series sponsor that you see every Wednesday night with us on Nerd TV. It's an all-inclusive league points management system that allows league owners and admins the ability to completely track their league stats and points with a simple upload. Sim Racing Points does not stop there for the avid webmasters. They also allow custom creations of widgets for any league website to fully display points, results, and more that easily update when results are uploaded. Just a few simple clicks of the mouse, any league can be up and running and looking good. While doing so, check out their complete price plans at simracingpoints.com. Then we have Martin Sports. We don't shout them out enough, even though we talk about them a lot. Sponsor of our pre-race show. The home of these sim gloves. Me and Kenny own a pair, and producer Dustin has a pair himself, and we don't race without them essentially anymore. Super great product. Keep your hands fully dry while you're driving the car, even after a long 2-hour race session. They also have fully customized sublimation of printing on any type of uniform shirt that you would like to present with your team. And they also have hoodies, hats, nerd swag, also going to be coming up very soon. We've mentioned it out now for a couple weeks. That lineup is on its way. So please check out Martin Sports 906. Check that lineup out. And while you're there, whatever you buy, you get 25% off when you use the code SUPERNERD. Then we have iRacing iFlag. It's going to be at iRacingIFlag.com. It's that LED system that goes inside your sim rig. Essentially, it brings all the caution lights, all the indicators that iRacing brings to you, but puts it right inside your sim rig in an area that's tucked away, but at the same time you can't miss it. It's super bright. It's an awesome product. Works instantaneous whenever something happens on the racetrack. Keeps your focus on the track, and and also the product they like to put back into the community too. Mr. Jeff that runs iRacing iFlag likes to give out sponsorships and help the local leagues out here. So you give the money when you buy the product, and he in return gives it back to the racing community, which is kind of cool. So check out everything they have at iRacingIFlag.com and use Super Nerd for checkout for 15% off of all of his products. And then we have the Butt Kicker Gamer 2 unit. Our producer Dustin has one. He can't speak enough about it. Brings all the bumps and feels on the racetrack directly into your sim rig as well, or just your computer chair. If you're racing, on a TV tray with a little simple chair, you can still hook it up to it and basically feel like you're in the car. It's kind of a cool deal. While you're at thebuttkicker.com, whatever you purchase, really, use checkout code NERDTV, 20% off. And then we also have a couple new ones that we have not brought up to you guys. We got Nerd Focus Energy Drink, the official energy partner for Nerditudes. Use checkout code SUPERNERD for 10% off of their products. They have 2 flavors. You see the green one on your screen right now. Zero sugar. It really enhances your focus for whatever you're doing, whether it's homework or driving on the racetrack. An awesome energy drink to have in your back pocket. So once again, nerdfocus.com. Use SuperNerd at checkout, 10% off. And then a quick shout out to Moonlight Speed Concepts, the official asphalt setup provider of Nerditudes. You can catch their website at www.moonlightspeed.com. You can also check them out on Twitter. They're pretty active and really great community to be a part of as well. And they have some great prices on all their setups. So once again, that's moonlightspeed.com. And then on the flip side, when you go to the dirt section, the House of Speed is the way to go. The official dirt setup provider of Nerditudes as well. Their website is www.houseofspeed.us. Also on Twitter as well. So please as well, if you're wanting to go and participate in some of the best and keep up with them on the dirt surface, there's no better way to do it than going to the houseofspeed.us and checking out their stuff. All right, Kenny, there's an extended qualifying time here because it is a really massive road course. They have a 10-minute session here. We're watching the 18 Brian Bliss currently on your screen, heading into turn number 11, that really sharp hairpin before the really, really, really long straightaway.
Yeah, I've been watching Richie Coy here, seeing what he could do in his qualifying. His first lap, he put down almost a 2:14 like he did in practice, but he's a whole second ahead of Kenneth Schultz. We do only have 6 people that's kind of taking qualifying time right now, but so far Richie Coy's leading off where he left off in practice.
Yeah, his car is looking really good. I've been actually keeping my eye on him the whole time I was doing that ad read, and he is hitting his marks really clean here. He has a little bit of low entry in some of the corners, but it's definitely paying off to his advantage. Me, myself, I'm always the one who likes the high entrance, low apex, but he's doing a little bit different, and of course he's faster than me, so it makes sense that's working faster than what I usually do.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy these road courses. I just try to make it around. I'd be 5 seconds off these guys, but I sure enjoy, no matter where it's at, whether it's COTA, Watkins Glen, wherever. We've been doing the new ones, the new Formula 1 style cars here in iRacing, so definitely enjoy the road course. But yeah, it's definitely a little challenge with these heavy cars.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of the iRacing Formula IR04 car. It just debuted a couple weeks ago with the update, and then as well as the USF 2000s. And I haven't been to this track in particular, but it's been a lot of fun. Looks like Richie Coy is going to park his car. He does complete a session at 2:15 flat almost. Right now we got you on screen, Kenneth Scholes, currently sitting in second place. He is almost a full second back of Richie Coy. I think... Yeah, he's running a little slow. I thought he completed this time. So he is officially done with his 2.15.9 second time. 10th behind him, Brian Bliss. And actually, everyone really from third on back's been pretty close.
Yeah, like you said, Brian Bliss just getting to the 2:16s, and you got a couple people there. But yeah, not too much of a gap. You got, Richie Coy running a 2-minute 15 second with Rob Shoemaker running 2:19. So within 4 seconds of each other. Looks about half the field. Almost got 10 of the 21 drivers that have taken some time so far in qualifying. We got about another 2 minutes, which is enough time to get one more lap in. So we probably won't see all the guys take qualifying today. Some of them will probably start in the back, ones that aren't really your road course ringers. But that turn 1 is just such an awesome turn. It's like, because that's the highest point of the track. So just seeing that camera angle coming up the hill, and then as soon as you get up the top of the hill, right back down you go, heading down into turn 2. So that's such a cool angle there, heading up to turn 1.
Let's see if they do that 6-7 wide entering turn number 1 like the real boys did it this past weekend on the NASCAR series. And yeah, that angle is super awesome to watch. And then going back to where you said half the field's not qualifying, possibly just because of not being comfortable with the track or just not that road course ringer. I myself kind of like learn from fire type of deal. Even though if I don't know the track, I think I'd still qualify and kind of force myself to learn. Because I feel like when you're in the midst of everything and everyone, I feel like that's the prime time to learn anything.
Yeah, I did that, last night, the new Winton track with the, the new Formula Ones you're talking about, the IRO4, and never ran the lap, got in there, ran a qualifying lap to see how the track is, and then brought it home 7th, so not too bad. But yeah, road courses are so much fun. There's so many different ways you can take it, and I'd love to see him go 5-6 wide heading into turn 1. We'll see if anyone kind of jumps out to that outside. I know iRacing will give you a penalty, but league race, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't need that 1x. See if anyone gets pushed out there. But I think we're going to see some good battles. I want to see if we have any give and take and see if there's a little bit more taken than given or what they do on that one. But I know there's going to be some guys kind of pushing it because this track is only, the maximum width of this track is 52 feet, and the skin in 42 is going to be the smallest. So there's not much room. It's going to be about the same everywhere you go.
I think that rule applies everywhere except for turn number 1 where that thing really widens out. And yeah, when you talked about getting incident points, you can't cut it across like the actual boys are doing it this past weekend. They'll get that Will Smith slap of a 1x if you go wide in turn 1 or through the S's. So you definitely have to keep in mind of that because iRacing is strict on where you can drive your car.
Yeah, that will be. It'll be interesting to see. That first turn. It'll be a great start to it. So I think I've been watching them in qualifying and practice. I think they were hitting about 157, 158 as far as top speed before they hit turn 1. So they're going to go from 158 and just blow it down only about 50 miles an hour. So it's definitely going to be fun to see.
Absolutely, and we actually had a quick shout out on social media before the race even begins from the head nerd in charge herself, as she has been officially titled. This is Brandy. She says that stash though, she's still wanting your stash, Ken.
It's still here. It's hanging out. It's got a friendly beard right now, but I appreciate it. It's coming back full.
Yeah, I think that's in the works for him to bring that back better than ever, even though it was only a short period. And I think everyone pretty enjoyed it, but you kind of ruined it for everyone, so you have to figure it out and get that thing cleaned back up to where you have that nice full Dale Earnhardt style stash, man.
Yeah, and then go get some gargoyles and pull off the look. Just can't pull off the driving.
Now you can just wreck people. Just, Terry Labonte at Bristol, it's fine.
Hey, a win's a win.
That's right. Talked to Ross Chastain yesterday.
Yep.
He showed that way.
He basically said, Alex Bowman, you've walked into too many wins, and we don't need any more T-shirts right now. So I'm just gonna move AJ and you out of the way, and that's just what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get my first win, and that's what he did. So we'll see if maybe we have that happen tonight, where someone's gonna kind of use that front bumper to push someone out of the way and make a pass on the last lap for a win.
You said you don't need another T-shirt, but at the same time, he's telling Ross Chastain to make one. But we have a running order to go through. I know we're a lot of fun here, but we got on the screen here Richie Coy taking your top spot as they do a half a pace lap on this track, which I'm glad to see because that's a long pace lap. They got Kenneth Scholes in second place. Third place, Brian Bliss. Starting in fourth will be Lane Allen. Fifth place is your points leader, Ryan Hedrick. Sixth place, Kevin Rupert. Seventh place, Tony Solari. Eighth place, Wayne Grassy. Starting in ninth, James Wallace. And around out the top 10, Chuck Sweeting.
And in 11th place is going to be Super Matty Watkins. 12th is Rob Shoemaker. And then taking no qualifying time, 13th is going to be Gil Gawk. 14th, Steve Loomis. 15th is Chad Lane. 16th, Josh Johnson. 17th, Chris Beck. 18th, Shane Pibala. 19th, Casey McMullen. 20th, Brian Dublé. And 21st is Donnie Staubitz.
One guy I'm going to keep my eye on is Tony Solari. He's trying to make that comeback. He's had a rough couple weeks and lost a lot of points, and he's wanting to get that back. So that's my driver to keep an eye on tonight is Tony Solari, starting in 7th place in that number 11 Ford Mustang. Got about a corner left before these boys take the green flag and head into turn number 1 at the first and only road course race of the season. They got to get every ounce of it to get maximized points if they're one of those guys who are looking for a road course to maximize any type of chance at the points lead. wide exit on the final corner, which I know it's turn number 20, but iRacing says it's 16. We're going to call it 20 for you guys. Waiting for that green flag. Ready.
Green flag.
Green flag is in the air. The flagman always for you guys. Premature. And Kenneth Scholl's actually a really great launch. Going up the hill, takes the early dive into the turn number 1 and blocks off Richie Coy. And it's going to be 2 by 2 by 2. I think I see a little bit of 3 wide there as I'm at the top of the hill. A couple guys starting from pit road. They are now on the racing surface, and Kenny looks like they sorted themselves out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like Richie Coy there had either spun the tires or something, but he definitely did not have a good start at all, and Kenneth Schultz definitely took advantage of that. As you see, he's kind of pulled off a couple car lengths, but Richie Coy looks like he's kind of making his way back up. But behind them, Wayne Allen and Brian Blisser, they're starting for third places. Ooh, Kenneth Schultz there coming off the corner, might have lost it theirs. I'm not sure what turn they're going into now. They're kind of all over the place on me here. You might have to catch up to me what turn they're on now.
Yeah, we're going to call that the S's. That's just nice and easy. And that was Richie Coy who got loose there. Went wide on that left-hander and got a little squirrely. But he saved it, no problem. They head into turn number 11. I know that corner.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, 11 and 12 are just staples on this track. So, the very long straightaway, one of the longest on the NASCAR circuit. They've all spaced out, really, until you get to about, looks like 5th place. We see Brian Bliss and Ryan Hedrick side by side. Looks like Ryan Hedrick's going to take that battle as they're going to single file all the way through the field, Ken.
Yeah, we see a little bit further back. You got Rob Shoemaker and Chad Lang. Looks like they're going to be battling for it right here as they're heading down into turn 12. Looks like Rob's going to end up taking that spot over, and he sure does. Whoop! He actually got clipped. As he goes around, we're not probably going to have a caution either, so that's not going to be good for him.
Nope, little local caution, if anything. They don't even fly the flag for that, so that's not going to bring out any type of caution, which is one of the unfortunate things with road courses. But, I mean, you can't throw a whole lap caution for that kind of incident. That's just a shame. Lap number 1, Rob Shoemaker drops all the way back to the field of virtue of somebody else's contact directly to his back bumper. As we got you live action on your screen, heads into turn number 12. And just right here, the number 4 just clips him pretty decently on that left rear. Sends him right around. No damage whatsoever after that, though. And he's back and running, but kind of cooked those rear tires off.
Yeah, and you can see he's actually got some rear damage there before he got turned. So it looks like someone got into him, within those first 12 corners. So not, that's not going to hurt him at all. But what's going to hurt him most is just that spin, that time that he's going to lose. He's definitely going to want a yellow flag sometime within these 37 laps because he's definitely going to be sitting way, way back there.
Oh, for sure. And as we were covering that replay, as we head into the S's here, Richie Coy has taken the spot over Kenneth for position number 1. Lane Allen and Ryan Hedrick also on putting pressure on each other to get past Kenneth Schultz for second.
Yeah, Lane Allen's coming in with Ryan Hedrick right there behind him, your points leader. I expect Ryan's kind of just slowly making his way up. He's going to be picking off some spots here. But Lane Allen is all over the back bumper of Kenneth Schultz as he's definitely trying to take that third spot away from him. As we see on our TV, Ryan Hedrick, your points leader, coming into this one. He's kind of, like we've been saying all season, just been steady. He is a 5-point head of Sherwood, but with him not showing up tonight, that basically just means he has a 25-point advantage on Casey. So this could be a big race for him. All he's got to do is keep it clean, keep that top 5. As we saw Casey trying to run some qualifying time in practice there. Sorry, he was having a hard time getting around the track and get a lap completed. So this could be whoa, look at that dive there by Ryan Hedrick. What a move. As he passes 2 cars there, he's going to be taken into that 3rd position. As we see Kenneth Schultz is going around, as Lane Allen got in the back of Kenneth Schultz there.
That was 2nd place, and that is super unfortunate. The same spin out as we just saw on lap number 1. So it looks like turn number 12 is going to be the little kryptonite for these guys. We see Lane Allen go wide here. He falls back to 4th place now. We're going to bring that replay to you. That's super unfortunate, though, Kenny. You see him right here. Goes into turn number 12, and a little bit later, but that was kind of a weird hook. It just, grabbed his left rear quarter panel, looped him around real quick, and then Lane Allen got shoved heavy after he had checked up to, not put any more damage on Kenneth Schultz. So a little bit of bumper damage, no problem there, but a heavy miss there for your guy that potentially is going to be finishing in the top 3 if he kept that kind of run up. Kenneth Schultz, he's got a lot of work to get back up there.
Yeah, that's going from 2nd to he's going to be back there with back in the back there after Rob wrecked. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully, he's just hoping for caution. Like you said, yeah, Wayne now, and looks like he got ran in the back too, I think by Brian Bliss there, because I see some damage on the front of Brian Bliss's car. So I'd imagine that's who's getting it as we see Wayne Allen go wide there. But as we see on their TV, got Brian Bliss there. He's got just a little bit of front damage, not too much, but still keeping speed, running in third place. Ryan Hedrick's kind of taken off from them after that little accident, trying to run down Richie Coy, who's still kind of sitting there about a second and a half ahead.
I think Ryan Hedrick is on a mission. He is looking for that. You see that front end damage there on the Toyota of Brian Bliss, the only Toyota on the field. Can't really hide from us because you're the only one in that type of car. But yeah, it looks like Ryan Hedrick's just making some good ground over Richie Coy. Richie had a decent lead. It might be taking it a little easy, but now he's got to get back on it to try to pull away from your points leader. He's just been on a mission this whole season, Kenny.
Yeah, he has. He's just being consistent, which is great. He's got 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 3 top 5s, 1 win. So that's what you got to do. And it's, I was kind of watching, like you said, he was man on a mission there, making up some ground, and then now Richie Coy's kind of pulling back away from that. So it just kind of depends on what turn. Sometimes you just have a turn better than others, and other turns you're not so good, and other people can kind of counteract on that. So we'll start seeing here, and it looks like looking here, we got a little accident, but Richie Coy gets a little sideways there off the corner. That's definitely going to bring Ryan Hedrick up a little closer.
That sure will, and that looks like it was Josh Johnson at the turn number 11, just kind of burps the throttle too much right here, just whoop, spins it around. He does find the inside retaining wall there, or guardrail rather, and a little bit of right front damage, slight damage on the left-hand side as well, but he got it back up and running, and actually his whole front clip came off, so it looks like a little bit of a modified. So that might hurt him on the long straights, but through the corners, that should be just fine.
Yeah, I think, and his bumper had some damage to it as well from the beginning when he got in the back of Rob Shoemaker there, so I think he just said, yeah, you know what, just get rid of this thing. So front clip's gone, no big deal, just keep it going. Like I said, he's only going to have some issues there when you're going from basically 11 to 12 and maybe from 20 to 1. But other than that, he'll be okay as he kind of continues on. But as we're looking, Richie Coy still extending his lead, 1.8 seconds ahead of Ryan Hedrick. That little mishap didn't really hurt him too much. He was able to make it back up. But as we got, Richie Coy first, Ryan Hedrick third, second, and Brian Bliss is rounding out your top 3 there.
And Josh Johnson took one to the chin like Chris Rock. I don't want to bring that up again, but it's too hard to say. But we got another incident right here on replay. I can't tell who that is exactly, but he went around and facing the complete wrong way. Finally gets it corrected. That's the number 67.
That's James Wallace.
James Wallace, yeah. No damage to him, but so we see some tires starting to give out early on, Ken.
Yeah, and that's no damage. Ooh, what a save by Kevin Rupert. I'm just going kind of through the field here, just watching everyone. It's just, as you see, Wayne Allen's going to take advantage of that, and looks like Tony Solari is going to try as well, but got a little loose there coming off the corner. Great save, but I was trying. There's so much action going on with these road courses. I know I was going with that. That's one of the worst things, is you don't wreck your car, you just spin out, and then you're just mad at yourself. You're like, really? I was, running top 5, overdrove it, or didn't brake hard enough, too much, whatever the situation is, and you just loop it, and you just see all those cars going by, and you're just like, yep, that's great. Just you're just down on yourself and got to make it back But that's part of road racing, that'll happen. As we see Tony Solari just actually take that spot on Kevin Rupert as well, so he's moving up through the field. Kevin's kind of dropping back now.
Yeah, I can keep my eye on the past half lap to a full lap. Kevin Rupert is dropping back. We see Chuck Sweeting looking on the inside here, or now we're going to be facing the inside. He drops back single file, though. Tony Solari, my eye has been on him, and currently positioned in 6th place. I think he's going to be 5th after he gets around to the line, as he completed the pass over Kevin Rupert. So he's gained a couple spots since the drop of the green flag himself, trying to maximize those points. And yeah, there's just a little bit of an action, not like a crazy amount, but just a little bit here and there around the track, not real one spot to keep your eye on per se. And we got the leaders coming up real close, but these guys sitting here like 10th place, looks like 8th or 11th. They're really close next to each other. They got Wayne Grassi, you got Superman Matty Watkins, Chad Lang, Shane Papala. These guys kind of duking it out right in front of them, too. They got their own little 3-car session, so a little bit of action everywhere. Yeah,
and Brian Dubois actually just went there off of turn 20 there and went a little wide, and Kenny Schultz said, I think you much can go right on by you. So he's gaining a little spot there, so that's always nice to see for him. I was kind of watching, Chad Lang and Matty Watkins here. They've been battling it out, and Chad's getting a run on him, but it's just not getting to that corner to kind of pull it off. So that's one I'm keeping an eye on, as well as also looking back up to the front. Ryan Hedrick's got it to under a second, so he's trying to catch on Richie Coy. Those two are going to be battling it out because closest to them is Brian Bliss, about 10 seconds back. So these two are kind of on their own here, fighting it out, as you see Ryan Hedrick there kind of dive it down the corner as he's trying to make up as much ground as he can on Richie Coy.
Yeah, it's the Richie and Ryan show. As you said, 10 seconds separates second place from third place just about. I would imagine it's going to be over 10 seconds this time. As they enter in turn number 12 here, and Ryan Hedrick is creeping, and he knows how to drive that car deep into turn number 12. That thing, those brake rotors are glowing orange. He's going to make a nice little dive here into turn 13, and he's coming. He's got to save those tires at the same time. I have no idea what the strategy looks like. I know you're going to be using up a lot of tires at this track because there's just so many corners. I would imagine it's going to be a one-stop race. Depends on when they want to come on in, but the long lap, it's just over 2 minutes a lap. You got to really take care of your stuff, and we've seen it. We've seen tires spin already and loop around, and there's no real full caution laps around this place, right? So the worst thing you could do is spin out. We've seen a couple guys do that, and now they're nearly impossible as far as getting back to where they were. If you can just keep it going straight, keep those tires good, I think you have a good chance, and Ryan's now within a car length.
Yeah, this is a great battle here. As you see, Ryan's just slowly trying to get up there, and watching these guys, you have one, they just take different approach. Like through the Grand Plaza there, 16, 17, and 18, you had Richie Coy kind of sitting right there in the middle. Nice little move. He's going to try to go under. I'm not going to make it. As Richie Coy's kind of right in the middle of that turn, and then you see Ryan go a little higher, trying to get a better angle coming into it, and they do the same thing as they came out going into 19. So different angles of attack on these corners to see if they can get a better run, off, or a better breaking point in. So, and what's nice too, Ryan is seeing what Richie's doing. He's like, okay, that's where he's braking. He's taking that line. Might be able to get a run on him, get underneath him here. So, he's a good spot sitting there in second because he's just watching Richie's line to see where he can do it. But as you see, he's kind of sitting right there as we're looking. Richie's going a little bit higher, and Ryan's cutting on the inside. So that's the fun part about it too. Just seeing what you can do as you're following another guy's line here at the road course.
Yeah, I'm sure Ryan wants to utilize the S's, the little shortcuts, but unlike the real track, this track, you got a little bit of tire lock up there on his left front. Through those S's, you got those huge yellow curbs that you just cannot drive over. It'll mess up your car, whether it be the front clip, the suspension. You've seen these next-gen cars, the composite bodies are durable, but the mechanical stuff underneath the body has been a little more or less more on the fragile side in comparison to the Gen 6 car that they had last season. And so you got to take care of your stuff. It is only on what lap
Six.
we're on lap number 6 out of 37, so we got a ton of time left to go, probably just under an hour's worth of total time. But Ryan Hedrick, you see you got on board right now, entering the final little part of the stadium portion of the racetrack, and Richie Coy sends it sliding too much into that sharp left-hander, and Ryan Hedrick is gifted the lead.
He said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that." And as he's going to try and check out from Richie Coy, I was kind of watching it. You could see him, I don't know if Richie was trying to kind of block that bottom, kind of right in the middle as he goes into the corner, and Ryan was just getting that kind of braking early, getting on it early as well, trying to make a run. But as we see on your TV, just Richie just going around a little bit, locked it up, saved it, got it back going, dropped it in the gear. See if I can catch up to Ryan here. But I was kind of watching that battle, and yeah, he just tried to get a run. And I think Richie was trying to block the bottom as well as get in, and just got a little too hot there and spun it around.
Yeah, it's either that or it might have been a little bit of mirror driving and overshot the entrance there, and he had to apply an extra brake to make the corner. And these cars, if you have a lot of front brake bias, or rear brake bias rather, they go around pretty quick. So could have been partial to either one of those, but no real way to tell. But that does set him back over 3.5 seconds behind Ryan Hedrick, who's now your race leader. And you're going to find third place all the way 13 seconds back. That's Mr. Lane Allen. And we see Tony Solari, who was just on screen as well. He is currently behind Lane Allen. Tony Solari's moved up to 4th.
Yeah, I was actually watching this battle right before we saw Richie Coy there on their TV. Kind of saw it around that corner, and Brian Bliss dropped 2 spots there. In the latter part of that last lap, he was running 3rd, and Lane Allen made a pass on a couple turns later, and then Tony Solari got around him, and it looks like Chuck's actually trying to make his move on him as well. So And like you were saying earlier, maybe a little bit of tire wear is kind of taking over or what. But Brian Bliss definitely fell back a little bit. Still running top 5, so all in all, still pretty nice. But definitely you can see him going back through the field. And as I'm looking through the field as well, it looks like everyone's just kind of running their own race right now. There's no real battles on the track. Chad Land made a pass there on Kevin Rupert, but not seeing anything else. I heard you though. I must have missed something.
Yeah, we're gonna bring out that replay. I'm not sure exactly. I saw a black car spin. I think it was right around turn number 11, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. It's Kevin Rupert coming up to turn number 11. Gets it loose, tail slaps the inside wall there, and keeps it going straight. So, I mean, those composite bodies take a lot of beating. So I don't think it's going to affect them too much. Just kind of kill the right rears there a little bit.
Yeah, that's actually, I was watching that view as I saw him the 4 car there of Chad Lane go by, and I was like, oh, he's making a pass on him, but now I see why. And sitting on pit road right now, Steve Loomis. I'm not sure if he's just having some damage or what was going on with him. I know he was a lap down, maybe just having a bad day. I know his practice time wasn't the best either, so just might not be his track, but he is on early pit road right now.
Yeah, we also had Gil Gawk drop out due to packet loss, which that's super unfortunate as well. I know he had high expectations for this race and didn't have the best lap time per se, but I know he was excited to be here. And he has not been onto the racing surface in probably over 10 minutes, so I do believe his internet's probably done for this evening, which, like I said, really unfortunate. But we are completing lap number 7 of the scheduled 37, so that puts us right at 30 laps to go. And Lane Allen and Tony Sawyer have kind of made a little bit of a charge, headed back toward Richie Coy, not by much. They only gained a second or so in the past few laps. So if they keep that kind of momentum up, we might have second place under threat here not too terribly long.
Yeah, Richie Coy actually gained a spot on, a second there on Ryan Hedrick too in that last lap. So he's definitely trying to make up some time of that nodal mishap that he had there. As we see him coming down big here as he's pushing that, braking a little bit later, it looks like, than Ryan is. He's trying to make some ground up, as we were saying, on that little mishap, but he's got plenty of time, 30 laps to go. Just kind of get back in your groove, hit your marks, and he'll be up there in no time.
Since the racetrack has been pretty clean and stable for the most part, we're going to do some quick shout-outs to our sponsors that enable us to do this each and every week for you guys. So we're going to go side by side. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with you. welcome back from our commercial break. Nerd TV. Thanks to all the sponsors that were currently listed on that programming there. And Kenny, we had some action on the track since we stepped away. You might have saw a couple of those bits on the side-by-side view, but I got him, the big one right now. Tony Solari on screen. He missed turn 11, huge. Put it right in the gravel into the outside guardrail. He lost a few spots. You don't see too much damage. Maybe some right front damage, and right next to that right rear tire as well. Pretty heavy collision for him.
Yeah, that car is definitely angry right now. Right as you were talking about him coming off of turn 20 there, got a little sideways. So went from being in 4th place, dropped back to 6th. So just lost a couple spots there, but he's trying to make his way back up. I was kind of sitting there watching Chuck Sweeting and Brian Bliss fight it out. Chuck was right there up on Brian, but couldn't make, as we see here on Nerd TV. Coming into the turn, just overshoots it. Too much power, not enough brake, and yep, that right front just right into the wall, popping back. Dropped it in gear as you see Chuck Sweeting and Brian Bliss go by right there. 2 spots that he lost. No harm, no foul. Hopefully his car's riding good. It looks like it is. I don't see any issues with it. But kind of back to what I was saying, Chuck Sweeting's though, he's pressing hard on Brian Bliss. He's actually made Brian go a little wide here on the turn. Chuck's going to be trying to make a move on him, but he definitely had Brian push it a little bit too much there.
Yeah, I've seen Brian Bliss trying to extend the racetrack out as much as possible. I know iRacing, or at least in this series of Full Throttle Sim Racing, they don't have an incident report penalizing them, so they can get as many 1Xs as they want. So, but we did see Brian Bliss forego that spot to Chuck Sweeting, who during that commercial break was just putting heavy pressure on Brian, and as you stated, just overshooting some corners and making a couple mistakes because Chuck was just right there the whole way through, and he finally gave it up on that long straightaway. We see Tony Solari making a little regroup here. He's now putting a little pressure on Brian Bliss. And that's got heavy damage to the nose of that car from an earlier incident, but it might be playing to the effect of how that car's handling right now.
Yeah, might take it to his advantage right here, as he's definitely gaining on Brian Bliss. He wants to get those 2 spots back. That was your pick for tonight, and I know we were on that commercial, and he went into the wall, and you're like, oh, that's not good. There's my pick, but he's still fighting back, so not too much damage to worry about, and come on pit road and picks it up a little bit, as you see. He's gonna probably be making a pass here on Brian Bliss within the next lap, but looking back ahead, you got Ryan Hedrick still leading the way, almost about 4 seconds now on Richie Coy, so he's pulling back away from him. You see Richie there in the background. Ryan Hedrick's on a tear. That might be what he needed, just a little hiccup from Richie, and kind of gives him some fresh air. What would happen on the track right now?
Oh, I mean, it's all good. Tony Solari just curb hopped the corner right before the S's, and he's still good to go though. Just kicked it really sideways. Gave a little action for us, no problem. But as you see, he's good to go. We're going to bring that little clip to you guys. That's our only thing really going on the track. Everyone else is still kind of just single file, doing their own thing, they like to say. Brian Hedrick, still 3.5 out. You see Tony Solari right here. Comes in early corner, curb hop, and whoop. Nice little save there, no problem. Keeps it going. Not taking care of those right tires, or the rear tires there, Ken.
No, absolutely not. He's just, burning them up a little bit, but no big deal. We're on lap 11 right now at 37, so we're almost about a third of the way through of this race right here. As I'm watching, Kenneth Schultz walked it up, but then so did Shane Popala there. They were both battling it out, and Kenneth walked it up to avoid him, and I think Shane might have realized that he was coming in high, and he might have went in a little bit too hot as well to make sure there was no incident, but they both get it going back in. They're running 9th and 10th right now, so this is going to be a battle for 9th place. Kenneth Schultz having a great run. Started up front, started in 2nd place. Kind of fell back a little bit, sitting 10th right now, but you have the opposite end of that. Shane started 18th, running 9th, so great run by him.
Shane Popala with excellent heads-up driving entering turn number 11. Yeah, Kenneth was just full speed ahead in that corner. They both locked it up. Shane recognized it early, drove that corner super wide, able to avoid any type of incident. He must have like a nerd focus sitting in his cockpit here, because he was definitely on the binders with that one in the correct location.
Yeah, he was ready for it. And Brian Bliss going. He, like you said, he is pushing that. Oh, there goes Tony Solari. Brian Bliss just kind of let him go by. He sees that Tony's faster, went a little wide in that turn, and Tony went ahead and got around him. That's going to put Tony there, I think, back into the top 5. So he's going to be making his way up, trying to get back up to Chuck Sweeting there, and and regain back his 4th position. As we see Chuck right there on the screen heading down into turn 1. No other battles really going on the track either. Looking through it still, seeing if there's anything going on, and everyone's kind of cruising. Oh, something must have happened with Ryan Hedrick, though, because Richie Coy is right on his back bumper. I'm going to have to go back through and see what happened, Jeremy.
Yeah, we'll have to check for sure. It was a 3-second deficit down to just nothing right now. Richie Coy is about 2 or 3 car lengths away from the race lead. Not entirely sure what happened. We see Richie make a huge dive, and Ryan Hedrick gives way. A new race leader, Richie Coy, in the 19 Ford Mustang DeWalt. Just excellent driving there, and I knew Ryan didn't want to chance any type of incidents. We're going to see something right here on their TV. Really just really overshot the corner. I don't know if that was 3 seconds worthy, but definitely didn't help for sure.
I don't know if he's having issues or what's going on, but I looked back through, watched the whole lap, and he didn't do anything. I mean, that was about the worst he did, was go off the track there, but nothing too big. So I'm wondering if something's going on with his car, or if he's just kind of taking it easy, or what the case is. But he didn't mess up at all. But that was a lot of time, 3 seconds to now, Richie Coy leading the way. So I'm kind of interested to see what's going on in Ryan's head right now, of what kind of game plan he's got going on.
I know I briefly mentioned it, but if Ryan Hedrick had a Nerd Focus energy drink also in his cup holder, he would have been focused in keeping that lead. But so nerdfocus.com, once again, check them out. Sugar-free energy product, keep you super focused on the track, and that's what Ryan Hedrick's going to need to get back in front of Richie Coy. Richie Coy's got about almost a second lead entering uphill on lap number 13.
Yeah, like you said, in that Nerd Focus there, that sugar-free is a good option for me. Being diabetic, I definitely enjoy the sugar-free option. But they do have one that, if you want that little kick of sugar, the green one there is going to have your sugar, and the blue one will have the sugar-free. But delicious stuff, and definitely get you focused. As you mentioned, Ryan Hedrick needs that to get back around Richie Coy. They're heading up through the S's right now. You can still see Ryan keeping pace, so maybe he was just kind of kicking back, and maybe he just wanted to have a little battle and was just tired of being out front so much.
That would be a fun thing to think about, but with COTA, anything can happen, and there's so many corners and so many possible errors that I don't know if he would actually want that unless he just was, one of those leaders like, it's boring up here. I just want to entertain myself for just a little bit. No problem, right? Chuck Sweeting, one of those guys that's full speed ahead. You see him right now on TV, currently sitting in 4th place. But, he's only 4th place, but he's also 21 seconds back of your race leader, Richie Coy. 3rd place, Lane Allen, still 12 and a half back of Richie Coy as well. He's kind of been maintaining that ground there about 12 seconds or so for a good remainder of 10 laps.
Yeah, and the gap between those two drivers, Chuck and Lane, is 10 seconds. So, between the top 2 drivers, you got over 10 seconds to 3rd place, and then even past them, another 10 seconds. And, kind of close between there, but everyone's spread out pretty equally. The ones that, shocked to see back there, maybe this is just not one of his tracks, though, is Casey McMullen running in the 17th position. Definitely not something that we're used to seeing Casey back there. He's 3rd in points right now, 3 top 10s this season, and not having a good race tonight.
He has made his green flag stop, I do believe so, pending there's nothing wrong with that car. We are on lap 13, up 37. He might be just in that fuel window. Want to get some early 7 tires, who knows, but Case McMullen on pit road. And actually, he got all 4 tires. Jack was dropped, and he's still sitting there. So he actually might have an issue with his car. So that's going to even move him back further. As we're going to see Chris Beck get around him. He's going to drop him to 18th temporarily. Steve Loomis hasn't moved for a while, so I think he's kind of locked into the 19th spot. So a couple issues starting to happen on here. Just see Case McMullen right there on pit lane, just crew looking over the car. You can't see it, but he can see it. They're searching that car for apparently what's going wrong with that machine. He was definitely not expecting that, and like I said, the mechanicalness on these cars are not the most durable.
No, and kind of looking, you got the modified of Josh Johnson still out here on the track too. Is talking about damage, and those 3, Rob Shoemaker, James Wallace, Josh Johnson, all 3 of those were ones that kind of ended up having a little mishap, whether they spun out or got spun out, and they're all sitting within 10 seconds of each other there in 13th. But Josh Johnson still, carrying around that modified, so he's going to get the pit road, and that's when it's going to be interesting to see what his repair damage is going to be like, and if there's any required, which I don't think there's going to be too much of that. But once we start seeing some of these green flag pit stops, we'll start seeing where they're going to come out afterwards.
Where the battle is on the track right now, I'm noticing is Tony Solar is putting a good amount of pressure on Brian Bliss here as they go through the S's. He's got just a few car lengths away from making that pass. You see him right there on TV as they head toward turn number 11, which been one of the troublesome corners for these guys. Let's see if Tony can make any ground entering this corner. They both enter it pretty wide, pretty standard entry there. But Tony just rotates so much better on that corner, gets on the gas roughly the same time, and he's got the long straightaway to pick up any type of draft. Yeah,
he's trying to get that draft picked up a little bit there as they're heading down this long straight here, but it's just not looks like he's gaining any ground. But that sponsor, as we see a Brian Bliss, it's been a long time since I've seen that sponsor on anything, and that kind of brings me back to the good old days years back. But he's got some nice schemes. I like the paint style and that chrome number. That chrome number is one of my new favorite things this season. I'm glad they brought that back out, and we see it in the sim racing world, and it's definitely a cool thing to have on the cars these days.
Yeah, the not to be my pun that I like to throw out there each week typically, but the chrome has not lost its touch, especially with that 18. Definitely
Ooh, Tony.
Tony, come on, man! I picked you. What you doing out there? He gobbled it up pretty quick though. It only lost, maybe a tenth. But he's right back there getting on Brian Bliss. He's got to keep that car straight. The car's been loose several times throughout this race so far. His setup's not exactly where he wants it.
I don't know if Tony would like being in your notebook, because that notebook of yours this season kind of been all over the place. So Tony might be like, get my name out of that thing. But speaking of the notebook, what you got in that one this season, or this, for this race, as far as pit strategies goes? We see Brian Dublé just came out of pit road. A couple other people have made it on pit road. So what you look like in your book there tonight?
Yeah, I think I opened up the page too and wrote the word yes across the entire page, and then closed it because I don't have one. I've learned it. Oh, we got Shane Papala, a little bit of issue through the S's, went super wide in one of the corners. He regroups it right there. We're going to get a little bit of a replay shot. I kind of saw him just shoot really wide on the right-hander. I don't know if he got loose or hit the curbing or whatnot. Yeah, he ramped that curb. We're about to catch that action here. He wants that extra hot. I think all four wheels at one point get off the track and just really shoots it way wide out there, but didn't spin out, didn't lose too much time. But I'm surprised that there's not more damage underneath that thing. All wheels came off the ground temporarily.
Yeah, and I don't think he lost. I think he just lost one spot there to Kenneth Schultz. So that's I think when this cycles all back through, he'll be put back in 9th place. So not too bad, especially for what could have been going through that turn there. So no harm, no foul. Keep it moving and carry on to the next the corner there like he did. Good recovery. Got around Brian Dublé there. Who's, like I said, just came off a pit road kind of as they went around heading to turn 1. And then kind of looking back up through the field, still got Richie Coy leading the way by about a second and a half over Ryan Hedrick, and everyone else behind them. Chuck and Wayne Allen spread out 15 seconds now back to 3rd place. So it's still the Richie and Ryan show going on tonight here at Full Throttle Sim Racing, which just put on such a great show, whether it's in the Cup Series, Truck Series, Xfinity. I know you're racing that on Thursday nights. They have the Saturday Short Track Series, Monday ARCA, so they got, or Tuesday's ARCA, so they got it all over the place. But it's a great group of guys to come out and have some clean racing. I know this is a road course, you're not going to typically see any yellows, but we've only had a couple spin outs, and in this season alone, just on some of the tracks, maybe 2 cautions a race. So it's really clean, really good driving, and Full Throttle Sim Racing is definitely a league that everyone should check out.
Yeah, that's at FTSR.net. And yeah, I mean, even if there was cautions turned on, they don't throw many yellows even on the oval side, just because these guys are super clean all the time. Yeah, there you go. On the bottom left-hand side of your screen, that's their logo. Go to their website. If you see that logo, you're in the right location. Super easy website, too, to figure out exactly where you need to find to get registered to race with these guys. Monday and Wednesday, they bring in the big numbers, but all the other series still have a really good quality of drivers, and they put on a hell of a show regardless. I have participated on Thursday, and I can vouch for that myself. That's with the Xfinity series. If you're a fan of the Xfinity with Thursdays, yeah, FTSR.net. And one of the new features too on this overlay that Dustin in the background has been so hard to work on. As you see that track overlay on the bottom left hand of your corner or of your screen right now, shows you every car on every part of the track, almost like an F1 style.
Yeah, showing you through the different sectors that you have here on this track. It's a great feature. I love watching this, especially on a road course such as this with all these different turns. As we mentioned, iRacing says 16, it's 20, no big deal. But this is such a cool track. I mean, it's only been around for 10 years too. So, got completed in 2012 and now, got NASCAR for the last 2 years and Formula One, which, me and you have gotten into just this last year. So it's a fun track. It's a great track. I love the elevation change that they have here and some of the speeds that they can hit as they're, no matter what car that you're in.
What I like most about road course is basically you can just bring a huge palette, just lay it on the table and go, all right, guys, design me a track. It's not like a cookie cutter where it's like, okay, we need 4 corners, a straightaway, and maybe a quad oval or a tri-oval. No, it's just whatever shape and design you want. Sometimes they go through the streets. Sometimes they have to wrap it around buildings, blah, blah, blah. This case with COTA, you're just out in the hills, freelance and do whatever the hell you want on the track design. And they nailed this one. I love the uphill, really wide entrance to sharp turn number 1. It's produced a lot of entertainment in any series that you watch. Of course, you get your classic S's. You have a really long straightaway, a couple of tight hairpin turns, a couple of sweeping corners. It has almost everything that you would want on a track. And I think I just caught a glimpse of Chuck Sweeten getting hella loose there, entering the S's, that first left-hander. Smoked the tires, kept it going straight. He might have flat spotted the front tires anyways. I don't know. We'll have to see. That hinders his performance, though. He's currently sitting in 4th place. But yeah, COTA's just an excellent venue overall. I'm surprised. It does not feel like 10 years to me. It feels more like 5, but I know this track's been around since 2012.
Yeah, it's definitely funny. I saw one too, as far as someone took a belt, just off your typical motor belt, threw it on the ground, boom, there's your road course. Just let it fall in place, and there's your design. Like I said, there's so many different options you can do. I love it how when they were through the cities, just make up the track through the streets of the city, no matter where you're at. I know, they're going to be going to Miami this year. I think they're announcing on Wednesday that they're going to be going to Vegas, Formula One, that is. So it's just great to see that you can make a road course typical out of anything. And as we see on Nerd TV, I've been watching this battle here between Wayne Grassy and Kevin Rupert. They've been kind of going back and forth, and those Gladiator Racing guys, Kevin Rupert, Kenneth Schultz, Rob Shoemaker, Shane Pabala, all 4 of those guys have been really putting on a show tonight. I mean, Rob kind of got spun there on that one, but Kevin Rupert, Shane, Kenneth Schultz, they've been running top 10 pretty much all race. So it's a great showing for those gladiators of racing.
Rupert and Grassy here have just been within a second of each other. I feel like the entire race, really. They probably is some of the closest action they've had to each other this entire time, as they're within a 1 car length or so from each other right now. But going back to the road course talk, I know there was an announcement, or at least a rumor, that the Chicago track that they digitally ran during COVID, that they built around the city streets of Chicago, that's I think within 2023 or 2024, that's going to be an actual NASCAR event with the Cup cars in the city streets of Chicago, which I'm not a huge fan personally of how they laid out that one. As you see, Rupert just took a detour that he did not want to take deep into the gravel pit, missed the wall, thankfully. He's going to lose 4 or 5 spots here as he does a 360 to get that car up and running. Has to get through the gear box. It looks like he had a little trouble shifting, but he gets it back going, but he's lost so much ground right there.
Yeah, it looks like he just tried the, overcorrection there and just sent it right to the right there up in the gravel, as we see here on their TV, going in, spin the back tires a little bit, and whoop, yep, a little bit of overcorrection, but locked it up just in time. He did lose quite a few spots, so as you said, I think he lost about 4 spots in total there, maybe just 3. So not too bad. But definitely not what he was looking for. We were just talking about the run that he was having too, and that's a shame. But he'll get back up there. I mean, we're sitting here on lap 18, so lap 18 of 37, with 20 to go. So we got plenty of time to make up through the field. You never know, might catch a full course caution.
Yeah, we're just about halfway done with this race. And yeah, that unmarried Kevin Rupert and Wayne Grassy have been running nose to tail essentially the entire race. So unless something else happens drastically, I think they have a new competitor to go fight for. We got Kenneth Scholes in return number 12 for you guys currently on your screen, running in 6th place. Kind of right now just running all by himself. He's got 3 seconds ahead of him. Brian Bliss, 6 seconds behind him is Chad Lang. Kind of own little boat here, running a pretty solid race, except for the very beginning there. But cars look pretty clean. I don't see any damage really on the car, so that's always a good sign. He's doing something right?
Yeah, definitely doing something right when you don't have any damage on the car. And looking back at these leaders, the Richie and Ryan show, and those two are still just kind of keeping within a second of each other. As we see Lane Allen here on pit road on Nerd TV, so he's coming down for his pit stop here on lap 19. But those two up at the front there, Josh Johnson just with a 2-lap car, or the 2 leaders go by. But they've been going good. Last year, Richie Coy got second. He was 20 seconds behind. So you take Ryan out of the situation, they're kind of looking about that same distance this year. But I'm sure Richie's enjoying being in that first spot, gaining a spot from last year, but not really enjoying the company he's got with Ryan Hedrick. He's probably hoping he can get a little bit further. But as we see, we've got some more takers here on pit road, Jeremy.
Wayne Grassy taking in car number 2 to make this green flag stop. We're just about the halfway point of this race. Actually, we are at the halfway point. So these are official green flag stops. They're going directly down the middle. 19 laps in, 19 laps out to complete the event. We see Lane Allen do it, and now we see Wayne Grassy do it. I think I heard Richie Coy call it over. He might be pitting this time by. And we see Kevin Rupert, who just spun out that previous lap in turn number 20. He is in to hit the mark on his pit stop. It's a pretty good. Car's up on the jack, no problem. Ryan Hedrick is actually right on the tail of Richie Coy, too. It's a pretty epic battle going on. But I think it's going to be broken up as they enter pit road, potentially this time by.
Yeah, as you can see, Ryan Hedrick's just been kind of the same way they did before he made that pass. He's just getting that turn in, blowing up a little bit for the corner, and just making that dive bomb in there. Coming off a little bit wider on the corners, as we see right here. Kind of like I was saying earlier, you got Richie Coy sitting right there in about the middle of that group there as they're going around, those 3 turns there at the Grand Plaza, and then Ryan Hedrick sitting a little bit on the high side. But yeah, I'm interested to see it. Yep, here comes Richie Coy right now on pit road, and that's going to put Ryan Hedrick in the lead.
Let's see if Ryan Hedrick can hit all of his marks this next lap and not lose too much time over Richie Coy, who is coming down pit road. It looks like he had a really clean entrance, no problem there. We've seen a couple guys miss their stall, so in the season. Ryan Hedrick, has to make it up. He is 0 for 2 at Atlanta last week. He's got to hit his mark next lap. Richie Coy looks like he hits his perfectly. Car up on the jack, no problem on his end as well. Speaking of hitting your marks too, Martin Sports will definitely get a grip with their racing gloves, sim racing gloves. MartinSports906.com. You get 25% off. You super nerd at checkout. That'll definitely enable you to hit all your marks on the racing surface and then some. Super grippy gloves, sweat free, keeps you extra focused. You don't have to worry about not gripping your wheel correctly. Highly check them out. Once again, MartinSports906.com. I'm waiting on Ryan Hedrick to come down pit road. He's the next one on my radar. He missed, like I said, he missed both of his stops green flag wise last week. He's got to make it up for it this week, and he's got to do it, because if he messes up here, there's basically no point of return.
He's definitely gonna have to hit his mark tonight. Not going as fast as he was last weekend, so he should be able to get it woed up. But that's definitely gonna be in the back of his head, where 2 in a row last week where he messed up coming on the pit road. Still didn't hurt his overall performance, which was good for him. But like I said, it's still gonna be there in his mind. And I'm kind of looking back at Richie and Chuck here, and Richie's gaining a little bit of ground here on Chuck with these new tires, but not too much. So as long as Ryan Hedrick, like you said, hits his marks here on this lap, I think he's going to come down this next lap here as he's heading into that Grand Plaza again, turn 16, 17, and 18. I think if he comes down pit road, he might have a good chance to come off right ahead of Richie Coy as long as they hit his marks perfectly down pit road. So let's see if he comes down this time.
I haven't heard the official call out, but I'm expecting it as his tires are worn, and there he goes, shoots to the bottom. Enters in pretty good, I would say. A little on the conservative side. Can't complain him. Gets to the yellow cone. He is good to go here. One of the more easier pin entrances, really, for a road course perspective to get into there. And it's not like Watkins Glen where you exit the corner and boom, you have to be there right on speed. So it gives you plenty of time to get woed up. Gets to his pit stall. 3, 2, 1. Stops. Perfect stop on the money. Let's see where he can come out. See if maybe he can get a little bit of advantage over Richie Coy, who right now is exiting turn number 20 onto the main straight here. Gonna climb the hill. Ryan Hedrick drops the jack. He is rolling out. It's gonna be a close battle. Exiting pit road, but Richie Coy looks like has him by maybe actually a couple seconds.
Yeah, I think he's gonna, those fresh tires. He definitely putting it down. He was pushing it. I was watching him on his lap, and he was kind of pushing it over the rumble strips there and getting everything that he could out of that. And it definitely paid off because you can see just putting a lot of ground here on Ryan. So like you said, a couple seconds there. We've got another car here coming on pit road right now. But Richie looks like he's taking over that lead and probably going to see if he can just kind of check out a little bit and try to extend it. That looks like the number 4 there, Chad Lang on pit road.
That was indeed Chad Lang who's making his green flag stop. It cycles most of the drivers through. It actually does cycle all the drivers through at this point. I think he was the last one to come down.
Kenneth Schultz right in the wall there. Ooh.
Recording someone coming down pit road, and then Kenneth Schultz surprised us with a little inside tap of the wall. Pretty actually decent damage to his nose there. We're going to catch it. Looks like he does a 360, gets it back going, and then loops it once again, going through the gearbox. That's huge. That's a lot of time wasted. You see him right now. Getting to the final corner. There's this 360. No problem whatsoever, right? And he's like, okay, I'm good. Gonna get to the gearbox. And, oh, man. And then just nails the inside wall. Yeah, hard hit. Right where the radiator's at. Hopefully no damage is done to that. But that's a lot of time. He did 2 360s right there.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose a lot of ground there. And like you said, hopefully he didn't get like a meatball or anything like that. That was a hard hit, kind of direct impact. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on him, see where he ends up, see if he kind of falls back or lose some time with that. But that's unfortunate. That's two of those gladiators of racing that we were talking about, and that's having some incidents there. So hopefully they can get it kind of fight back. As we see Kevin Rupert, when we talk about him, he's dropped back to 15th, 16th now. Rob Shoemaker sitting in 13th. Shane Papala there in 11th. And Kenneth Schultz was registered in 9th, but I think he's gonna drop back after this thing's all said and done as they cycle through.
Yeah, Ryan Hedrick is almost an entire front straightaway away from Richie Coy. After that pit exit, and he actually almost lost it in that very first corner.
Seconds.
Right after that pit exit, turn number 1, he just kind of slid it just outside of the track surface and cost him extra time and probably some grip on his on the rear tires. So yeah, 7 seconds still this time by. So he's got to figure something out to get up there to Richie.
I mean, think about it. They came in together within under a second, and after he came out of the pits, Richie's 7 seconds ahead. So Richie was like I said, he was putting down the lap, and not sure what happened other than what you just mentioned there going into turn 1. But that's a huge gap. I mean, you're coming off going, okay, we're pretty close. This is going to be good, and then you come out and you see him fly by as your jack's hitting the ground and you're getting up to speed on pit road, and Richie's just full speed, 150 miles an hour heading down the front stretch there. So that's not a good sign if you're Ryan Hedrick. But we'll see how much gain so much ground he can gain on him. But so far, still looking like you said here, he's just now coming out of turn 11 there as Richie's heading down the straight.
One thing that Ryan Hedrick might be hoping for, Ken, a yellow flag, but I don't foresee that happening. But if we do get one, there's no better product to put inside your sim rig than a product from iRacing iFlag. Their LED system that gives you all track indicators and flags that are flown throughout the course of the entire race, brought right to your sim rig, keeps you super focused. Don't need to search for that little flag that they provide you on the top left of iRacing screen. This product does it all for you and then some. Check out their products at iracingiflag.com. Ryan Hedrick looks like he's moving a little faster around this time by. We're going to see what the lap times actually show, but he goes a little wide there as soon as I start talking about him. So got Tony Solari as well. That was running down into turn number 12 that we just saw on the screen. And Ryan Hedrick got one more corner here before we get an updated time on him. He's still got plenty of time, Ken. We're just past halfway, and it took us, we're up to, what are we, just under an hour into this event. So, I mean, he's still got about a little over a half hour's worth of actual time to get to where he needs to go. And, yeah, he did gain 4/10 that lap alone.
Yeah, I did a little bit of math earlier, and I think as far as everyone running about that, I just put, I think, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I think we're sitting about 83 minutes that this race should be. So sitting just under half an hour of time left. Because with some of these iRacing events, you're going to have a 15, 20-minute time. So kind of think of it that way. Think of it as a sprint race and hit your marks, gaining some ground. He did gain half a second on him. So, he is hitting his marks a little bit better. I kind of see, looking through the field, looks like Casey McMullen came back out on the track as well. So I'm not sure what he was sitting on pit road, for those 6 or 7 laps for. But he's back out here running 18th right now.
Yeah, currently 8 laps down, and he's finally figured out what was wrong with that car. Some type of mechanical issue, but they finally figured it out, and he is back on the surface, just logging some laps at this point. Maybe if someone, has an incident and they can't get back on the racing surface, he might be able to get a point. You never know, and he's in the points, so he wants to try to get anything he can out of this thing, and that's why these guys don't quit and just keep driving and hope for the best. Hopefully something plays into your favor. That's why he's out here doing it.
Respectful driving too. See how they get out of the way there. That's what you get with these guys too. You see him there. He knows he's 8 laps down. He's like, go ahead and get by me. I think that was James Wallace that he let go. Yeah, James Wallace is 67 there. So just a ultimate respect out here at this league.
Yeah, you won't find that in any official hosted session. That's for iRacing official session when it comes to these cars. These guys, even if they're 8 laps down, like Keith McMullen, they're going to run you like they're on the same lap, and it gets really frustrating. But you will not find that kind of racing here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. But I'm keeping my eye out on Ryan Hendrick. That's only the real action on the track for me. As he gets loose, so never mind. He's going to erase all that time that he had worked for. Should probably kick him back to 7 seconds. We'll find out here as Richie Coy passes Mr. Johnson there on the front stretch going uphill. Current time by, he actually still gained 2/10, 6.4 seconds. So even with that little mishap on turn 19, he's still making ground.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that because just as we were talking about him, switched over to Ryan Hedrick there and got over to Lewis come off the corner, but still gained some time. So what are we sitting here? We got 14 laps to go. And kind of looking at the C's like, okay, gain half a second, gain 2/10 of a second there. I kind of do that sometimes where I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, I'm 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds. If I can gain half a second, that's going to give me about a lap or two to make a move. Get you 12 laps up to him, gain half a second a lap, 12 laps, you're there. You got 2 laps to make a move. So that's kind of what would be going through my head. I'm sure Ryan's going to have something completely different because he's the one running up front. I would not be there, but that's just what I do, play a little game with myself. But these two are still, it's still going to be the Richie and Ryan show because, third place Wayne Allen sitting 31 seconds back. So these two are just putting on an impressive show. But still a good, strong run. And Wayne Allen sitting in third. Your pick, Tony Solari, in fourth after that little mishap. And Brian Bliss started third, still running fifth. So great run for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Chad Lang sitting in 6th place. Wayne Grassi 7th. Kenneth Scholes 8th. Shane Papala 9th. And Matty Watkins rounds out your top 10. Just a little quick update on your top 10. But I think we're at time. We're going to hit a second commercial break here. We're going to go side by side once again, so you still won't miss any action on the racing surface. We'll be right back with you guys in just a few short moments. All right, guys, welcome back. That was our side-by-side action there. Giving thanks to all of our sponsors that bring the action to you guys every Monday and Wednesday night. And we were kind of looking at Ryan Hendrick. Previous lap, he gained a whole second on Richie Coy in one lap. And then he was like, yeah, that was too easy. And he gave that whole second back, Ken. Now he's back to 6.2 behind.
Yeah, I was watching the lap times and ran a whole, like you said, 1.2 seconds faster. And then the next lap, you see Richie Coy get that whole second back from him. So I thought he was going to be making some ground up there with that second gained, and thinking he'd be up there quicker than we were thinking before. But back to 6.2 seconds, 12 laps left. So he's definitely going to have to put it down. Maybe hope Richie Coy makes a mistake, but as they're running right now, he's still about 6.2 seconds ahead after they came around that last one here with 12 laps to go.
Yeah, and maybe Ryan Hendrick did something like I would do, where he's got to search for something to get up to him, right? The laps are kind of ticking down at this point as we're 11 and a half laps to go. And so you got to find something different than what you're doing. So maybe he found a speed in the track he hadn't found before, and then try to replicate that the lap after, and it backfired. Very well potentially have happened, and so he kind of lost that ground he made up. But some good action here around Kenneth Scholes. We got him on screen for you right now. There's a little 3-car battle situation going on with between these guys with Ryan Grassi and Shane Papala.
Yeah, the Gladiators are racing. They're trying to make a run here on Wayne Grassi, see if they can go around him. They're going to be fighting for that 7th position, so they're pretty close there as they're coming across the start-finish line, all three of them there, as you still see on their TV. Shane and Kenneth are kind of keeping it close. Shane's looking to make a move. Now, these guys are teammates, so you're not going to see too much aggression between the two of them, but we still got 11 laps to go, so there's still plenty of time. They might work on Wayne slowly, but Shane's definitely looking like he's got a strong car right now where, as I say that, gets a little tire spin there as he comes to the corner. No big deal. He'll make that ground up, but he was definitely looking stronger there right before that wheel tire spin.
I've seen that a couple times where the car gets really close to the guy in front of them, and then when they make that sharp corner, some of your visibility's gone. You don't know exactly where that curb's at, and so when you get to the curb, you press the gas pedal, and then it kicks sideways because you didn't know where your car was going to end up. So I've seen that a couple times. That probably is what happened there to Shane Papala, but he's been faster than Kenneth. So he'll be back up there and putting a little pressure on him here in the next lap or so. But Wayne Grassi playing a little bit of defense here and going into this corner, the last corner of the stadium section. Shane Papala goes a little wide, no problem, but it looks like Kenneth Scholes is all but a few corners away from maybe contending Grassi for his 7th place.
Yeah, and all Kenneth Scholes needs to do is just, he doesn't need to be aggressive. It's 11 laps to go. I think right in front of Wayne there's Chad Lang, so not too much ground on that one as well. So sit there and have Wayne, kind of do some mirror driving and make a mistake. And as soon as he makes a mistake, go ahead and pounce on it. As we see right here, Kenneth Scholes can actually go on around him there. Oh, Wayne Grassi right there into the, I guess it would be the outside wall. I'm not sure what happened there as you saw Kenneth Scholes and Shane go right around him as he put it in the wall there. That's not the way that Wayne wanted them to go around him, but they are. We'll see what happened here on their TV.
I think Shane Papala is going to need a new set of a new race suit after that one. I would have soiled myself if that were the case. I never seen that really. I think he was probably in 4th gear, 3rd gear. He probably shifted, maybe downshifted on accident. I have not seen tire spin that late into a straightaway.
It looks like he did downshift.
Possibly, yeah. He was up close to 90, or actually was at just over 100 miles an hour when that car kicked sideways. Could have very well potentially been a gearbox issue with the sequential shifter. But yeah, just kind of like if he went down a gear, that's exactly what happened. And see it right here, and whoop!
Ooh, what a move!
Yeah, excellent diversion there by Shane Papala to make sure he did not get hit by Wayne. That's really bizarre incident. I've not kind of seen that incident ever really occur, at 100 miles an hour on a straightaway.
Yeah, and that's gonna move Kenneth Scholes and Shane Papala there up to 7th and 8th. So they're gonna try to work on Chad Lang. Chad Lang's sitting about 4 seconds ahead of them. Still got time, 10 laps. Kind of like I was saying before with those, they're sitting 20 seconds away from Brian Bliss in 5th. So he's a little far out there, but Chad Lang's definitely someone that they can run down. The two of them kind of work together, get behind Chad, see if he can make a mistake, and just kind of like Wayne did there, they can both kind of go around him and gain 2 spots here before this thing's all said and done. But these guys are definitely going to battle each other. It's going to be respectful, but I can see these two kind of coming down to the finish to see if they can gain a spot.
I'll also make a quick mention. There's a couple of people that have retired recently. Kevin Rupert, Chuck Sweeting, Rob Shoemaker, all those guys have backed out of tonight's event. That's going to bring the total of retired cars to 5, which is really unfortunate. Those guys, after they made their green flag pit stops, they backed out afterwards. I don't know if it was mechanical or just lack of position, the comfort of the car, who knows. But just a quick mention there, especially Chuck Sweeting. I'm kind of surprised that he's backed out of the event. He was running up there in the top 5 and doing well, as he does each and every week. Just an unfortunate circumstance for him tonight. Shane Papal is back on that bumper of Kenneth Scholes, making a good run here at his teammate. And we like to see it, even though it's a teammate situation, it's still a friendly battle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As you see, right there, and he's not pushing it, not getting too close to him, doesn't want to chance anything, but definitely pushing him enough to kind of get some speed into him as well. So it's a friendly push. But you can see kind of back to what I was saying with those different angles. Kenneth Schultz kind of took a little bit more of that inside on the turn, and Shane's going a little bit more on the outside to see what kind of runs they can get. And kind of keep it about the same, but it looks like Kenneth got a little bit better run when he kind of went on the inside of that corner as they were coming through the S's there. Looking back through the field there, we're going to be coming through. Richie Coy is going to be sitting there with 8 laps to go. 6 seconds, gained another half second on Ryan Hedrick. So Richie's still pacing him. Every time Ryan gains some time, Richie pulls it right back the next lap. So Richie might be looking at those times and going, let me put it down a little bit or let me lift it up. But they're just going back and forth and keeping it right around that 6 seconds.
He's baiting him. That's all he's doing. He's like, he gives him a little false sense of hope, and then he takes it from him. Just kind of playing with him mentally. That's how I'm going to look at it. Probably not the case, but, Richie's a pretty solid driver, and he knows what he's doing. And I think Ryan's just one of those guys who's just trying to push his limits. He finds some speed, and then he overdoes it. And then I think that's where you're seeing that fluctuation of gaining a lap, falling back, gaining a lap, falling back. It could be his tires too not holding up for him as he's found some speed. He has hit his marks every single time. I think if he can still hit his marks every single time, he still can put himself in a position, because they are just under 10 to go now at this point. So there's still a decent amount of time, over 12 minutes of racing if they go green the whole way.
Yeah, still a decent amount of time. He can make it up. He definitely needs he would love if Richie would make a mistake, whether he overdrives it, spins the tires, something like that, which I'm sure Richie's kind of taking it easy. That's probably why he's losing a little bit of time here and there. But, I would imagine Ryan's hoping for something to happen just so he can get it close and at least have a shot at it. But Richie's just no looking back. He's trying to do it. And we, sometimes you see these road course ringers, like we know in the Cup Series yesterday, had AJ Allmendinger definitely out there. But then you see those guys, some other guys kind of running up front. Kind of same way here. Richie Coy, Ryan Hedrick, Lane Allen, Tony Solari, Brian Bliss, all of them have been fairly up front most of the year, and they're continuing at this road course. So there hasn't been really like that road course ringer today. It's just been kind of your typical norm, seeing those guys that's been running up front still running up front tonight. So Richie's loving it. I'm sure he's excited that he's still going to put that gap, and I'm interested to see where he's going to run here on Ryan once they come across the line here, as it's coming the lap 31 of 37 here for Richie Coy.
And gained 4/10 there, 5.6 back. And I said 12 minutes of racing. I really meant 20 minutes of racing. My math is even wrong sometimes. So, still plenty decent amount of time. If Ryan can get that 4/10 here, 4/10 there, and maybe gain a little bit more next time, still has a small chance. But I've been kind of keeping my eye on, saying Kenneth Scholes, Shane Papala is still really the race on the track right now, other than Matty Watkins and James Wallace, who've kind of put themselves into a little battle picture here, fighting to be inside the top 10. As right now, Matty Watkins holds 10th, and James Wallace wants that spot to get registered top 10.
With Kenneth Schultz and Shane Papala, they're definitely chasing down Chad Lang. I don't think it's going to be too long until they're going to be going around him. They ran him down. Like I said, I think he was about 4 seconds. They brought him back to just about a second, maybe a second and a half. Did Kenneth Schultz, as we see Shane's about another second there behind him. So Shane's kind of dropped off from Kenneth Schultz. But even after that little spin, we saw Kenneth. He was running top 5 Had that mishap, 360, got it going again, another 360 right to the wall, and here he is fighting Chad Lane to try and take up that 6th position. So that damage did not do anything to him as far as slowing that speed down, but I think he's going to gain him here on the next lap or two and kind of get that spot back from Chad Lane.
Yeah, I was expecting maybe some radiator damage or something going wrong in the front end, but he hit that wall pretty square on, so it does not seem to have any effect to his car whatsoever, as he's running still pretty decent lap times. The battle with Matty Watkins and James Wallace has gotten down to just a car length now as they go uphill into turn number 1 with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, and looks like Ryan's still sitting there about 5.6 seconds behind, so it's kind of that thing too, I'm sure, going through Ryan's head where he wants to push it, wants to make up that ground and see what he can do, but at the same time, he's 35 seconds ahead of 3rd place. Like, you're sitting 1st in points, 2nd place in points did not show up tonight, so you're really 25 points ahead at that point, but then you're 25 points ahead of Casey McMullen, who's not having a great night, sitting in 17th position. So Ryan could be just sitting back there, you know what, I'm just going to take my 2nd place. It's a great points day. Richie Coy, he was sitting there in 4th, 26 points, so he's not going to lose too much on Richie, but he's going to gain so much with everything else that's in between. So I think Ryan might just be sitting back, just taking that 2nd place position and not going to push it too hard.
Yeah, we got 7 laps to go, and he actually lost a half a second that time, back to 6.1, so they're basically at a stalemate. And at this point, he needs just around a second a lap to make things happen. And it's just not enough time. It's going to take something for Richie Coy, unfortunately, to get him in that spot. But we see on the screen here, James Wallace still trying to get to that top 10, putting excellent pressure on Matty Watkins.
Shane Pickpolo got around Kenneth Schultz there. We need to check and see what happened.
Look at that. Got his spot from the teammate. Swapping positions, that's going to put Shane in 7th place. Kenneth Schultz moves back to 8th. Shane's not letting him go, though.
No, what a move. He actually went down to the corner there, got actually 2 for 1 past Kenneth Schultz and Chad Wang. And watch this move, Jeremy. This is a great move. I love how when he comes down to make this move, he just cuts right in front of Chad Wang. This is such a great pass here as they're coming down. Watch this. Oh, is this a little bit back before the move here? I think it is.
Probably the next set of corners there as they come through that. They really set him up, though, because Chad Lang went super wide there in turn number 11. Puts them almost within striking distance, essentially. A car length there as they come in turn number 12. We saw Shane do it in turn number 11. Right here he goes. Just so deep. That rotor was so bright red, and that's like the road course version of a slide job. Just cuts it right in front of Chad, and a little 2 for 1 temporarily until he falls back to Chad Lang's grasp.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have the runoff because he had such a, he dove it down that corner, and you could just see that thing glowing there as he was going, and that gave Chad the momentum to get off the turn. But hey, 2 for 1, that was a great move. Like you said, I was thinking the same thing. Slide job wasn't coming to mind. It was there, just couldn't come out in words. But see if Shane can kind of get back past Chad now. You had Kenneth Schultz that was trying to make that move on Chad, and Chad's fighting both of them off. He's fighting both of these gladiators are racing off. So he's going to have his hands full, sitting here with 6 laps to go for these guys. That's going to be a good battle to watch to see, who's going to end up with this 6th place position. Chad Link's trying to hold off as much as he can. And, kind of looking back through, the other one I was watching was Matty Watkins and James Wallace as well. So those two groups are going to be a good battle towards the end here.
Yeah, this is definitely the action on the track. Is between the top 10 there, Matty Watkins and James Wallace, and then these guys duking it out for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Right now, Chad Lang, you said, got heavy pressure from the Gladiators of racing. And one thing that Chad Lang would need to stay in front of these guys is the Gamer 2 unit from the Butt Kicker. Buttkicker.com. Go to the website. Got you a code NerdTV for 20% off, and that's that real life immersion feeling in your seat that you can find nowhere else. It brings your sim rig essentially to the racetrack because you can feel everything. Awesome product. We have a review on YouTube at Nerditudes. That's youtube.com/Nerditudes. Go check them out. 20% off. Why not? And it's an excellent product, one of a kind. Yeah, the action chain Papala is right there. We've seen him dive it in a couple times now, and he is once again striking distance on Chad Lang. Drives in pretty decent there. Kind of holds the back bumper of Chad. We haven't seen too much of that, and going through the SC has been pretty strong. Let's see if he can do what he did in turn number 11 just a couple laps prior.
Yeah, he gets down the corners really well, carries all that momentum in there, and just kind of over brakes everybody. But the runoff, you're gonna lose something. If you're gonna gain on the braking, you might lose something coming off. And I think all he just needs to do is clear Chad Wayne a little bit more, maybe in a corner where he can kind of get off a little bit better. And I think once he can do that, I think he might get away. As you see, a little mishap there, Chad Wayne, as he's going over the curb. That's going to help Shane kind of move up through the field. Like I said, he might be making a run here. Yep, we can see him on the inside. He's going to be dive bombing down here in the corner.
Yep, we've seen him do this a couple times, and we know he can make it stick. He makes it happen that time. Chad tries to undercut it, but Shane with just an excellent drive off, and he has secured that spot over Chad. New position, or new guy in 6th place.
Yeah, now let's see if he can pull away with the speed. But here we go. We see Chad Lane. He's actually going to be making a run back here as these guys are heading down from 11 to 12. Nope, Chad's going to tuck back in behind. He's not going to make that move. Shane's going to here dump it off in the 12 as they're running 6th, 7th, and 8th. This is still a great battle here that we have for 6th. And thing with James Wallace and Matty Watkins. It looks like James Wallace was able to get around Super Matty Watkins, so that's going to put him in 10th place. James Wallace will have to see that. I know he had some mishaps, but he's sitting 5th in the points coming into here. With everything going on, I think he might leave actually 3rd in the points. So it could be a big night for him, especially getting that top 10. Can't be mad at that. So.
Yeah, Matty Watkins had a little bit of an issue there through the stadium corners and just gave up the spot to James Wallace. Just really bad. And he had some tire spin, too, for that matter. So that's why Mr. James Wallace is able to get around Matty for the top 10. But kicking it back over to Chad Lang here. And he's starting to fall back from Shane. We know Shane's got that really strong car here. He's been pressing that issue over and over. And I would imagine that Mr. Kenneth Scholes has a similar setup underneath his Ford Mustang. So we might see him put that pressure on Chad here in the next lap.
Yeah, those guys were coming through the field pretty much the same speed and coming up through the field together. But Kenneth had the speed at first as we were watching him even after that damage, and these kind of fell off him. And Shane picked up where he left off, and Chad's sitting right in the middle, so he held off one of the gladiators of racing through the S's, though. Looks like these Kenneth and Shane are definitely a little bit better than Chad going through the S's, as we see Kenneth picked up a lot of time there as he's right up on the back bumper now, Chad Lane, which, as we see here, different lines we've been seeing all night. But yeah, this S's has kind of been getting to Chad, and that kind of let Kenneth Schultz close up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems to be his kryptonite there. He gets a really good launch in that little kink there, the left-hander going back downhill. Kenneth Schultz drives it in pretty deep, able to make it stick. Let's see if he can get a good launch off the corner to contest Chad Lang, which he does. He's within a couple car lengths now. Got a little bit of draft help. Doesn't help you too much with the non-restrictor plate, but it does help a little bit. As he might be able to get into a striking distance. He puts his car in attack position in the middle side of the track here. Nope, kicks it back in, brakes a little early, gives that up, and is going to reset.
A little bit of tire smoke there as he got a little too hot there, did Chad Lang. And I would kind of sit back to what I was saying earlier, Jeremy, where maybe get right up on the back bumper. Make this guy make a mistake. Make Chad make a mistake. Whether he overdrives it, locks it up. Yeah, see, right there, a little bit more tire smoke. Yep, there he goes. As Kenny Schultz is going to try to look on the inside. But make him make the mistake. Get around him that way. You got 4 laps to go. You got plenty of time. As Ken Schultz is actually going to go, he's getting around Chad Lane here on the outside, see if he can hold it off as he's going to try to catch his teammate Shane Papalo. But they're still battling side by side here, Jeremy.
Yeah, Chad Lane not wanting to give it up, but it looks like temporarily that is a change of position. Kenneth Schultz will take over 7th place. Chad Lane falls back to 8th, makes a really good dive into the final corner. Really good entrance into turn number 20, and they're going to be side by side just for a momentarily as Kenneth Schultz gets that outside momentum. Clears them. Let's see if Chad has anything entering turn number 1.
Yeah, as they're heading into turn number 1 right now, the highest part of the track, you're going to see that elevation here on their TV going to go right up to the top of the hill, make that sharp left-hand turn, and they're going to head right back on down to turn 2 as we see here. Just those grandstands in the background just kind of disappear as far as the elevation change. But that's going to be the highest point there is turn 1. So great view there on their TV. Love to see it. Kind of want to catch up to those to the front. Richie Coy's still leading the way. We got 4 laps to go. Richie Coy's 7.6 seconds ahead of Ryan Hedrick. So those two, still getting the Richie and Ryan show. As we're coming to 3 laps to go here for Richie Coy. He's sitting there, like I said, about 7.6 ahead of Ryan and then 52 seconds ahead of third place. So I don't think he has anything to worry about as long as he keeps it nice and smooth. He's now 8 seconds ahead of Ryan. So Richie's just on a Sunday stroll right now as he's waiting those last 3 laps to tick down and take that checker flag.
We got this little selfie camera here on Richie Coy. Basically, this is what it looks like to hop in your car on a Sunday with no destination. You're just going for a joyride. That's what it looks like. Those hands super smooth on the wheel. That car is in excellent handling condition. He's probably not even breaking a sweat in there, to be honest. Probably got some music going on. He just looks super comfortable. And rightfully so, he's extended that lead to 8 seconds over Ryan Hedrick with just 4 to go. At this point, 3.5. No pressure at all. He's just cruise control.
Yeah, he's been on a tear all season. I mean, these 2 guys up at front, Richie and Ryan, it's going to be, this is their season. We had Brody up there. He's, like we mentioned earlier, he's missed the last 2 races, so we hate to see it. Hopefully he's back soon. We'd love to hear him back up in the booth hating on how he can't drive these cars, but came home with his 4th victory. But with these 2, Ryan and Richie, they've been 1-2 most of the season. Definitely top 5. So these are going to be the 2 to keep an eye on. I mean, we're 5 races through the season so far. I think we have 13 total. So almost halfway through the season, and I think these 2 are still going to be fighting it out when we get to that last race there at Kansas.
Chad Lang loops it on turn number 20. Kind of just ends his hope of getting his position back from Kenneth Scholes. Turn 20 has been a late issue for a couple of people. Kenneth Scholes early in the race, and Chad Lang just drove it in and maybe has too much rear brake and sent it into that corner super early. We're going to see it right here as we're on board with Chad Lang in that Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. And it just looks like too much rear brake or not enough grip in those rear tires. Sends it around, keeps it going straight. Doesn't make any contact with anything. But like I said, it took all of his little hope there of getting to Kenneth Schultz.
Yeah, now he's got it's 6 seconds, so he's got plenty of time, but you got Wayne Grassy there who's sitting behind him, so he's going to be trying to just sit there and keep it smooth for the next 2 laps and hold on to the 8th position. But yeah, turn 20. Definitely been putting up a fight for everybody, and he had a perfect way to loop it there. Didn't lose too much time, got it going again. Definitely loses his hopes there of chasing Kenny Schultz down for 7th, but kind of looking behind him. Wayne Grassy's there, but I don't think, as long as Chad Lang can keep this thing smooth for the next 2 laps, he should be able to still secure that 8th place, which is good, starting 15th as well.
Oh, absolutely. And everyone else has just kind of been, they're on the little zip code. No one's really contending for anyone at the moment after that little incident. So all pretty spaced out with about 2.5 laps to go in what NASCAR dubbed the Texas Grand Prix. We call it Circuit of the Americas. Richie Coy, it's basically been his show the back half of this race. Team right here, entering turn number 11, going to make that long straightaway shoot. And that car's just been so dominant. Ryan Hedrick still 8 seconds back. He's going to retain the points lead. You brought it up a little bit ago about he has no worries whatsoever. 2nd place is a perfect place to finish. No reason to do anything stupid on the track. Just kind of earn those points that he's been gifted, and he's going to kick it on top of what he currently has. And no playoff, man. Kenny, I think Ryan's he's a top pick right now as far as that championship goes.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely a top pick, and Richie's right there behind him. Richie's been out front, I would say, a little bit more than Ryan has this season, and just had a little bit more issues. Ryan's had some issues, but he's able to overcome those. Where I think Richie was out one of the races. It could have even been Phoenix, where he had some bad luck there. So those 2 definitely are going to be fighting it out. And I was looking ahead to see who's ahead of Richie Coy here, as he's getting ready to come around to 1 lap to go, and it's Matty Watkins. And kind of as looking, he went a little bit wide in the corner. He's just trying to hold it on. 11th place position, trying not to go a lap down. As we see Richie Coy here is coming in the turn 20, so he's going to be bringing it up here one more time as we come here to the get the white flag. One more lap around Richie Coy. Going to take that white flag right now. He's just heading up the turn 1, Jeremy.
The Nurse Swag one to go is out. Richie Coy has been that dude. He needs to just do one more lap of that nice, consistent driving he has been doing. Just really smooth on that wheel. Has not got loose. Nothing really to notate other than just solid performance on it from his car in particular. Brian Hedrick, he actually gained a second and a half, but that's because Richie Coy has nothing to lose, and he's just on cruise control, making sure just cleanly gets through these corners one more time. I'm sure Ryan saw that time change and was like, ooh, maybe I got something. But I'm sure it's just Richie kind of just doing his thing, just casually going through the S's, clean S's there, heads back downhill, and going for turn number 11. One of the final few tricky corners left on this 3.4-mile circuit. Hits the corner perfectly, apexed it nicely, a little easy launch off. Yeah, I think he's got this thing all but sealed up, man.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's going a lot slower right now as he's hitting these corners and hitting his marks. No reason to push it. You're 8 seconds ahead at one point. Why push it? That's the worst thing you want to do is spin out with such a lead and a dominating car. With something like that happen, I hear looks like we'll hear a little bit of chatter on the radio here. So it looks like Wayne and James Wallace might have got into it there. Yeah, sure enough they did. So that's going to put James Wallace. Oh, yep, we'll tap and hard hit for Wayne Grassi there.
Yeah, not sure what's going on there. Just looks like Wayne was really slow and was just. James did not expect that, I would imagine. Just had a really slow. Yeah, just I don't know why. The car never got going after he got loose and kicked him into the wall there. Definitely wasn't intentional, but just unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah, just gave him a little kiss there, and unfortunately it was just enough to put him in the wall, and that's unfortunate. But as we see right here, Richie Coy coming around turn number 20. He's going to be sitting here, dominating the whole race, takes the checkered flag. That's going to be another win for Richie Coy here as he takes COTA. Ryan Hedrick looks like he's going to come across in second place.
I'm sure he's super excited to win the only road course on the schedule. I wonder how tired he is. He's just doing those casual laps. Sometimes that makes you just mentally fatigued, but nonetheless, he was able to get that job done. Super good performance there. Ryan Hedrick, second place. He had a great performance up until that pit stop. I'm sure if he had changed a couple things, he would love to get that opportunity back and put himself in contention. But just Richie Coy, man, hit all of his marks perfectly.
Yeah, and right now as we see Wayne Allen, he's coming around here. He's going to take home third place. He was sitting there about 50 seconds back of Richie Coy. So, Richie was definitely just out there to enjoy right. Gain 2 seconds. So you can see that time that Richie was kind of taking off. But some of these guys coming around. I think we had about 11 cars on the lead lap, so we've got quite a few more that's going to be coming around here since it is such a big track.
Yeah, but you guys are not done yet. We see fourth place Tony Solari entering turn number 20 for the last time. We'll take the checker flag right there. So we just now have fourth place crossing the line. Fifth place Brian Bliss now gets the checkered flag as well. That's going to round out your top 5. Waiting on Kenneth Scholes, who's now headed toward turn number 20. All by his lump sum there. Nothing goes wrong for him. He's going to secure 6th place. Taking back to Shane Papala. Also with Chad Lang, he's going to get 7th and 8th.
Yeah, good news there for Wayne Grassi. Him and James Wallace got into that little hiccup there, but you can definitely tell James was going to take that spot, and even with the contact, Wayne's still going to sit in 10th place. So didn't lose any spots there as we see James Wallace coming around in 9th place, and Wayne Grassi's here coming behind him. Matty Watkins was making a run on him, but he's just not going to make it. It's still going to put, as long as Wayne can get around here, turn 20 just fine. You see Super Matty Watkins going a little wide. That's going to put Wayne there 10th place, first top 10, and Matty Watkins in 11th.
And just kind of rounding out the field here as everyone else does cross the line, and so that makes the results temporarily official. Time for his burnout as he took 3+ minutes to get around here to do something for us. Let's see how good he burns them down. What is left of that vehicle?
See if he goes out here, turn 1. Yep, that's where I would go. See the whole track.
He's doing the Ross Chastain move here as he wasted no time, but he took the extra joy lap. Wait, there it goes. Burn them down. You earned this, man. Congratulations on that win. But I think we can finally get the Martin Sports post-race show underway. Go over some of these results and bring in your top three your fighters out there this evening as we do officially start the post-race show. I'm going to go ahead and bring over all the unofficial results until the admins look over everything and get them uploaded on that Sim Racing point system. Richie Coy takes the top spot, as you do know. Ryan Hedrick second. Lane Allen finishes in third. Tony Solari in fourth. Brian Bliss rounds out the top five. You see Kenneth Scholes takes home sixth. Shane Papala in seventh. James Wallace eighth. Wayne Grassy ninth. And to round out top 10, Matty Watkins.
Before I continue on, look at this burnout that Richie Coy's putting on. He has started at the top of turn one and still burning it down. Oh, motor just went. Look at that.
There it goes.
What a great burnout, though. Sorry, back to the running order there. You got 11th and Chad Lang, and then this is going to start our cars a lap down. In 12th, you have Chris Beck. 13th is going to be Brian Dubois. 14th, Josh Johnson. 15th is Casey McMullen. 16th, Chuck Sweeting. 17th, Rob Shoemaker. 18th is Kevin Rubert. 19th, Steve Loomis. And then Gil Gok and Donnie Staubitz, who did not make the field, going to finish in 20th and 21st.
It does round out the field for those unofficial results. But I think we have Lane Allen, who has jumped out of his car. I think we can possibly get a word with him. Mr. Lane Allen, do you get a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, congratulations on that podium finish, getting in third place. You had a couple of battles there, in the middle of the race there, but toward the end, it was just kind of doing your own thing. How did you manage to get third place?
Oh, just tried to keep it on the track after a couple of unfortunate slides there at the beginning, for sure.
Yeah, we definitely saw, everyone kind of all over the place at the start of the race and kind of cycle down. We saw you move your way up through the field and position. How was it getting around this place? Did you end up losing it a couple times? How many incident points did you end up going off? Because I know just the slightest touch and there's a 1X for you.
Oh, I don't know. It was a few, I'm sure. But yeah, it's definitely tough. It was loose more than anything. You just had to be careful on that gas pedal for sure.
Yeah, we saw quite a few people looping around, just getting on the gas too early. I got to ask too, how are you in road courses in general? I know you pulled home a top 3, but I've talked to people in the past that have won the race. I won't mention Brody Hanna, but then he's like, "No, I hate this place," but he ends up winning it. So, how are you in road courses in general?
Oh, I like them. I always enjoy those.
Yeah, same here as well. I always enjoy a road course, and it's the only one on the schedule, and you're bringing home a top 3 finish, so congratulations once again. Anyone out there that's watching on Nerd TV right now you'd like to give a quick shout-out to?
No, I don't reckon, but thanks to all y'all guys. Y'all do a great job.
Appreciate those kind words, and go ahead and celebrate the rest of the night, man. Congratulations on your top 3.
Thanks.
And that was your third place finisher in that Mountain Dew Chevrolet, Lane Allen. And that's going to bring in Ryan Hedrick, who finished second place tonight. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good up in the booth, man. Finally done with the only road course of the season. I really love this track and road courses in general. And, man, you had such a good first half of that race. I got to bring back to that one and only green flag pit stop. What happened? It kind of lost you that ground over Richie.
I just suck at pit stops. It's really tough there. I was actually going to go in the lap before, and he beat me to it. I wasn't going to go in with him. I wanted to try something different. And I just went in, and I was just a little too conservative. I'm always too conservative on the pit stop. So I thought coming out 7 seconds back, I'd be able to reel him in. But he was fast. He deserved it. It was fun racing, but he definitely deserved the win.
Yeah, we were definitely watching it because we know that last week at Atlanta you missed it twice, and we were like, all right, he's going to see if he takes it a little easy. And I'm with you there. I'm not a huge fan of pit stops either, so I go the conservative route. But you made it down. But we did see you gain some time, like you said. You were 7 seconds back, and you cut it to I think 5.5 at one point. But then I think Richie saw that and found another groove there and kind of spec'd it out. And looks like you two were going back 1.5 seconds. Do you think you had anything for him at the end there? Were you pushing? I know you're probably pushing as hard as you can, but did you push it all the way, or did you kind of back off and just say, you know what, I'm I'm going to secure the second place and
Uh,
not have anything crazy happen.
I'd say about 7 to go, I started losing faith in myself, and then he was taking it easy the last couple laps, and then I was kind of kicking myself because I was like, if I'd have been really on it 100%, I probably would have tried to give him a bumper there and give him the old Chastain, but no, he deserved the win, and it was a lot of fun. And I do want to say, first off, I suck at road courses. You look at my iRacing profile picture; it's a no left or no right hand turn picture. So it takes a lot of practice. So I'm thrilled with a second place finish.
Oh, absolutely, and especially coming in the, you're 5 points ahead with Sherwood, but he didn't make the race, and I think that was 25th to Casey. So this is going to be a great points day for you. I expect you and Richie to kind of pull that lead, but especially with you, I think that'll still put you at least 20 plus ahead in the point standing. So great points day overall, even like you said, not being good at the road courses.
Heck yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. Getting somewhere on it. Got 6 more or 5 more this year to practice up on. So
Yeah, quick question too before we wrap it up. The points, man. You're currently leading everything, and your whole team's they're all rookies here. So it's kind of impressive that on that stat alone. How are you guys able to compete such a high level on your first season here?
I think we've really just put it together. I mean, James is kind of our setup guru, and he's really figured out these cars quickly. I myself enjoy the cars being so hard to drive. I mean, I've been crap the last 3 years with the newer package the cup cars we're using. So I'm just glad to have it a little bit back into my hands. Testing flat out only does so much for me. So, and I actually got the feel of this car. Like I really can tell when it's on edge. Like it's harder to feel when you're losing control, but I've got it. I feel like I've got it down. So yeah,
That definitely helps a lot. And I do agree with you there. I felt like the Gen 6 was just outside of my realm as well. And this next gen is more up my alley for sure. But um, who do you have to think out there that's currently watching Nerd TV or just any shout outs you want to give out in general?
just the team, man. We keep putting it together, and hopefully we finish out this first A season strong.
Yes, sir. Congratulations once again on the runner up position at Circuit of the Americas. Enjoy it with the rest of your team, all right?
Thank you, guys.
You got it. That was your second place finisher, Mr. Ryan Hedrick. And that leaves one person, the guy that was on a Sunday cruise the entire way through the back half of this race, Mr. Richie Coy. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good over here. Super impressed with your run overall. We just talked to Ryan. He said you're a little conservative on his pit stop and just didn't have enough for you. And how much time did you have in that car? That thing was just on a set of rails like I've never seen before.
It was a very sketchy set of rails, I can tell you that. This was it was not, if it looked good easy, it was definitely not. Every lap, every corner was definitely sweat and sketchy, and I was trying to get the most out of the car without overdriving it. But Ryan did a fantastic job. He definitely made me work for it. Even at the end, I was watching on my relative, making sure that I wasn't losing too much time to him because he was still making some really great laps.
Yeah, I mean, you were like Jeremy was saying, you were just out there just on a rail. He'd gain a second, then you'd pull a second and a half on him. And the first one of the season, you've been up front all season, really, and just kind of had some bad luck on a couple of these races. So it's nice to see you pull one of these off. And are you a road course guy, or because we were seeing there's no road course ringers that we could see, but you and Ryan have been kind of up front. So how are you on these road courses?
I'm okay. I mean, I know enough to be dangerous. I know a lot of good road racers. I don't know if I'm particularly one of them, but I do okay. Last year, I got a couple wins on road courses in FTSR, a bunch of seconds and stuff. So I do okay. I do enough to be okay.
Yeah, we saw that you got second last year, so definitely won up that one. So again, congratulations on the first win. It was a heck of a run you had there.
Thanks, I appreciate it. It was definitely a a run for the ages. I'm just very glad to be able to cap one of these things off finally.
I want to go back to before we wrap this up as well. I want to go back to your reply to my question. We had you on like a little selfie camera where we had the camera mounted to your front roll bar, looking back at you, and your hands were just as smooth as silk, not having any issue on the track. And I even made a comment that you're probably not even sweating listening to some music, and you're sitting there saying you were on a thin line, getting loose and sweating your ass off. And You make a really ill handling car look like a lot of fun to drive.
Well, I mean, it was a very good handling car. EPI came up with a really good setup for this week. It was still a very good handling car. The cars themselves, though, are just a handful to drive. I mean, once I was able to get into a rhythm and be able to just find my marks and my braking zones, and finally start the countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and with the gears, because I can't figure out what gear I was in the beginning part of the race, which was kind of screwing me up. But once I got into a rhythm, it was just kind of like, all right, hit my marks, hit my marks, hit my marks.
I think you did over so successfully, and congratulations on the race win. Who out there watching on Nerd TV you'd like to give a quick shout out to, or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Well, I'd like to thank my team for Fury Motorsports. I think Tony got fourth tonight, missed the podium by one spot, and thank Brody. We work really hard at all these races. Like to thank FTSR for putting on a fantastic league. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see, that they really do a fantastic job. Thanks to you guys. I can't wait to watch this one back. It was probably a little bit boring with the road courses, but hopefully it was a good show for everybody. But thank you guys again for doing a fantastic job too.
Appreciate those kind words, and go ahead and go celebrate with the team, man. Well-deserved victory at Circuit of the Americas. Have a good rest of your night.
All right, guys, you too. Thanks again.
You got it. That was your race winner, Mr. Richie Coy, in that DeWalt Ford Mustang. And Kenny, let's get this thing wrapped up. What's your overall thoughts of tonight's event?
It was great racing. I mean, Richie kind of said they're kind of spread out a little bit, but it was the Richie and Ryan show. Definitely those two were the class of the field, but there was still some good racing all around. It's definitely a fun track, and there's all those different turns. You have different setups you can do, so I love seeing it. And they kind of mentioned it. Matty Watkins was saying that he had 51 incident points. Was glad that they don't have a restriction here, because this place is tricky. So I'm sure there's a lot of different ones like that, just some little spins and going off the track. So all in all, though, it was a great race to watch.
Absolutely. Great race for me. Even though it got spaced out, it was still, I love road courses. That's my thing. And great events. Speaking of great events, the next few weeks are flooded with short tracks. We're going to see Richmond up next week. Actually, this Wednesday for the truck series, we're going to see Richmond kick off the 3-week stretch of short tracks. We see Martinsville the week after, Bristol, and after you get rid of all the short tracks, you bring on the big boy Talladega.
Yeah, that's, it's like, let's hit you with a couple short tracks, get some of them tempers going up with everyone, kind of that short track drive. And these guys are pretty good. I don't see many of that happen, but you never know, because that's going to lead perfectly into that Talladega. So get a couple short tracks out of the way, and then, like you said, go to the big boy and get that draft package up.
Oh, absolutely right. Awesome little stretch of racetracks to look forward to, and then Dover and Darlington as well. So just a great schedule that our NASCAR's put together for these guys in all of 2022, and looking forward to it. Before we let everybody go, I want a quick shout out to everybody that makes this thing happen for you guys every Monday and Wednesday that we bring to you live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Nerd TV. Full Throttle Sim Racing themselves, been doing this thing since 2006. That's it's a long time for one league to be doing something. So, and you see the action each and every week. You can't sell it any more than what the action brings to you on the racetrack. FTSR.net. And then Sim Racing Points, the official sponsor of the Truck Series, and the official results that was just presented shortly after the race was over. It's that league points management system that makes an admin's life so much easier. Just a couple uploads of your export, and boom, there you go. Nice and visible to everybody out there. Check out all the pricing plans at simracingpoints.com. Then we have Martin Sports, home of the sim gloves of all of sim racing. They also make shirts, hats, hoodies, a lot of different apparel lines, customized to whatever you need, and they're the fastest turnaround in the business. So why shop anywhere else? That'd be martinsports.com. You super nerd at checkout, 25% off. You got iRacing, iFlag, your in-sim caution / light system inside your sim rig that brings you all the indicators that you ever need that iRacing throws at you. Pretty awesome, one-of-a-kind unit, really bright, keeps your focus on the racetrack. Check out all their stuff at iRacingIFlag.com. And then you have the Butt Kicker, the Gamer 2 unit. We have it here at the Nerditude headquarters, and it brings so much praise from a lot of the drivers that do use this thing. It's easy connection to the bottom of your chair. Brings all the bumps and action from the car directly into your sim rig. So check out them, thebuttkicker.com. Nerd TV, 20% off of everything that you purchase in your shopping cart. And then our new sponsor is the official energy partner of Nerditudes is Nerd Focus. Use code SUPERNERD at checkout for 10% off of their sugar drink, which is the green label, or the sugar-free variant, which is the blue label. That is going to be nerdfocus.com. And then we got a quick shout out to our asphalt setup provider at Nerditudes. That is Moonlight Speed Concepts. You can find them at www.moonlightspeed.com. Really strong competitive setups at a pretty reasonable price. If you want to compete with the best, you're going to want one of their setups to contend with the best. Moonlightspeed.com. And then on the flip side, when you go to the dirt, you want to go to the House of Speed, www.houseofspeed.us. That'll give you all the dirt setups you'll ever need to contend with the best as well on that side of iRacing. All right, Kenny, that is it for us. We will return to you guys this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring Richmond and the trucks, man. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll short track racing. Should be an exciting battle, and especially the trucks. We'll see what happens.
It's a great time with short tracks for them for sure. But until then, everyone stay safe out there. Get your nerd on.
Later, nerds.